All right, today we're cracking open the playbook on one of the biggest, most interesting strategic decisions happening inside Meta right now. And it's all about an app you probably use every single day, WhatsApp. This is a true business case study, and it really all comes down to a $10 billion question. So let's get into it.
So let's just start with a number, a huge one, 3.32 billion. Just think about that for a second. What does it even look like when nearly half the entire planet uses a single app? It's not just a social network at that point, right? It becomes a global utility. It's like a fundamental piece of how the world communicates. You got to keep this number in your head because it's the foundation for everything we're about to talk about.
So for years, this messaging juggernaut was basically Meta's sleeping giant. I mean, think about it. An incredible asset with over 2 billion people using it every single day. But from a business point of view, it was almost completely untapped. It was like owning the world's digital town square, but all the shops were closed. Well, that was all about to change, and in a big way. And, this power isn't just spread out evenly. It's super concentrated in these key emerging markets. We're talking about a staggering 535 million users in India alone, 118 million in Brazil, 110 million in Indonesia. And in a lot of these places, for a huge chunk of the population, WhatsApp, well, it is the internet. It's the main way people connect, do business, everything. Okay, now this is where things get really interesting. You have to remember the original promise. Back in 2019, Mark Zuckerberg himself went on record saying they were building WhatsApp to be a simple, reliable, private messaging service. That promise, especially the private ad-free part, built up this mountain of trust with users. But, it also created a massive business headache. How in the world do you make money from something you've promised not to monetize like you do with Facebook and Instagram? And that question brings us right to Meta's big pivot. They had this realization. The gold mine wasn't in plastering ads all over the place. No, it was in the conversations themselves. So the plan became, let's transform WhatsApp from just a simple messaging app into this powerful engine for what they call conversational commerce. So how does that work? Well, the strategy basically stands on 3 legs. First, they built a business API. This lets big companies manage all their customer chats at a huge scale. Step 2, those click to WhatsApp ads you see on Facebook and Instagram. You tap one and boom, you're in a chat with the business. And finally, step 3, they built tools right into the app, things like product catalogs and payment systems, so you can browse and buy something without ever leaving the conversation. It's a closed loop. And if you're wondering why businesses are lining up for this, just look at the numbers. Look at the engagement. You send out a marketing email and you're lucky to get a 20% open rate. But a WhatsApp business message, it gets opened 98% of the time. 98%! I mean, that's just staggering. When you're almost certain your customer is going to see your message, it's a total game changer. It's not just better marketing. It's a direct, reliable phone line right to your customer's pocket. So the big question, is any of this actually working? Oh yeah, it's working. The revenue stream that's mostly coming from WhatsApp is already on a run rate of about $10 billion a year. Let that sink in. This isn't some pie-in-the-sky strategy anymore. The gold mine is absolutely paying out, and it's happening fast. WhatsApp has gone from being this huge cost center to one of Meta's most exciting new moneymakers. But here's the thing. This incredible success creates this really fascinating strategic paradox. Because the very thing that made WhatsApp so beloved in the first place, its privacy, its simplicity, that's now sitting right at the heart of its multi-billion-dollar business plan. And that creates this huge tension inside the company. And here's that core tension, laid out plain and simple. On one side, you've got the entire foundation of the brand, trust, privacy, that famous end-to-end encryption, and the all-important promise of an ad-free space. But on the other side, you have Meta's very clear business goal. Turn this app into a commerce engine and grab a piece of a market opportunity that could be worth over $20 billion. So the question is, can you really have both? Okay, and this is maybe the most surprising, counterintuitive twist in this whole story. You'd think that bringing commerce into a private app would kill the trust, right? But what's actually happening, especially in these emerging markets, is the exact opposite. Users who are so used to WhatsApp being a private, safe space, they actually trust buying from a business inside a WhatsApp chat more than they trust clicking on a random ad in their social feed. That privacy halo, as you could call it, has become its single biggest commercial asset. Wild, right? Which brings us right here to the decision point. Let's put ourselves in the boardroom at Meta. The data is all in, the momentum is just undeniable, and the leadership team is facing a really high-stakes choice. And this is the kind of dashboard they'd be looking at.
All right, so you're the CEO. This is what's on your screen. Monthly active users, up by over 500 million in just 1 year. The number of businesses using the platform is climbing by a solid 20%. And here's the kicker. That other revenue line item, which is mostly WhatsApp, is up a massive 48% year over year. I mean, every single key indicator is flashing bright green. Everything's going up and to the right. And that financial momentum, you just can't argue with it. A 48% jump in 1 year shows you this isn't just growth, it's an inflection point. The machine they built is working, and it's working incredibly well. So the question is no longer if you should monetize. The real question is, how hard do you stomp on the accelerator?
So it really all boils down to two very clear paths forward. Path A, you accelerate. You go aggressive on pricing for businesses. You push really hard to hit, say, a $15 billion target. But you run the very real risk of alienating the millions of users who came to you for that simple private experience. Then there's Path B. You take a more moderate approach. You move a bit slower. You protect that user goodwill at all costs. But the risk there is you leave billions of dollars on the table, and maybe, just maybe, you give rivals like Signal or WeChat an opening to catch up. And this is the point where we stop just analyzing and turn the question over to you. We've laid out the massive scale, the Klemmer strategy, the central paradox, and the two roads ahead. Now it's your turn to sit in the big chair and make the strategic call. So here's the final question, and it's a big one. If you were the CEO, what would you do? Would you, and let's be blunt, weaponize WhatsApp's trust to grab maximum short-term profit? To make it Meta's next huge revenue engine as fast as humanly possible? Or would you play the long game, protect that core user experience above all else to make sure WhatsApp stays dominant for the next decade? There really is no easy answer here, and that's exactly what makes this one of the most fascinating business stories playing out in the world today.